Hi, I'm Ray and I'm in the garden today, and it's another weekend, and one of my jobs today is bare root trees. So we picked up a few trees from local supermarket, and these were 2 for £12 or £7 per tree. So I thought we'd try a couple, and haven't quite decided whether they're going to go onto the allotment or in the garden, or a mixture of both. But we've got some nice selection. The first one we've got is Pear Conference. And this is easy to grow, sweet and succulent perennial fruit. So that is our pear. Next one we got is apple, and it's John a Gold, and this is easy to grow, sweet and juicy perennial fruit. So that's looking really good. That'd be great. So the next we've got is cherry, and this is Stella. Easy to grow, sweet and crisp, a perennial fruit. So that is lovely, and I really want to do this in the garden. Cherry in the garden would be really nice. And then the last one we got is plum, and this is Plum Victoria. Easy to grow, sweet and juicy perennial fruit. So these all come as bare roots, and they've come all wrapped up in a plastic bag, and then their roots are wrapped in some kind of damp material. And bare roots of trees that are just bare roots, no soil, there's nothing else around the trees. And these are grown in the ground and then dug up by the nursery, and that's called lifted. And this is done while the trees are dormant, but we need to get these out of these bags so they can get some air. So these can be grown November to March, and buying them bare roots, normally purchase them from websites or online sales, and you get more varieties buying on bare root instead of container plants. So you do get more varieties, and being dormant, they should establish reasonably well. So winter is an ideal time, and we don't want these roots to dry out. So while the ground is frozen, what I'm going to do is plant these in some containers until I know where I'm going to put these. So I'm going to do that now, so let me show you. So the first one we're going to have a look at is the cherry. We're going to remove it from this bag. I'm going to move it carefully as one of the branches is broken. There we go. And there, nice. We've got our nice tree. You can see one of the branches here is snapped. So I'm just going to take our snips. I'm just going to snip this one just above the bud. Remove that, we don't want that bit. So there we go. So we can see that our roots are probably still quite moist. There's a bit of moisture in the bag, but we don't know how long these have been sat like this. So the good thing is, this one here's not sure, a bit worse for wear. We can actually see some buds coming through on this cherry, which is great. So the first job to do, if digging in the garden, it's best to dig your hole first. Dig a nice big hole, and then once your hole is ready, then just reveal the roots. Don't let them to the air for too much, because otherwise they're just going to dry out, and we don't want dry roots. We want to keep them nice and moist. If we're not planting them out straight away and the roots feel damp, then wrap them up with some wet tissue paper or wet damp cloth and keep them in the dry. But we're going to put these up into a container. I'm going to have a look at the roots and see what they're doing. So I'm just going to remove the bag, and there we go. As we can see, it's all wrapped up in some cling film, and the roots are quite damp. If they're really dry, it might be an idea to put it in a bucket of water for 30 minutes to an hour. Give the good roots a good soak. These feel really damp, so I think we could be okay just to plant these straight out. So here we have our cherry tree, and we're just going to remove the packaging. There we go. Now we can see there's just a tiny bit of soil left on there, so we can see all the nice roots. There we go. It's looking really good. So just check and make sure all the roots are okay. There's no damaged roots. That's looking pretty good. This one here doesn't look good, that's flopping around, so I'm just going to remove that one. So that's our bare root. We can see where it was in the soil, where it's been dug up. So I've got this nice big container, and we're going to put it in this container just for temporary until we know what we're doing. So I'm just going to fill this up with a combination of homemade compost and normal compost. As we do it, every 2 or 3 inches, we just firm it down. firming it down. So we need the level to be higher than the join, so we're okay here. Just pressing it down as we go, using a bit of a multi-purpose compost as well as the homemade. And this is just while it's deciding where we're going to put it. So it might need a stake of growing in the ground, because we had a stake of 45 degrees to hold it up. There we go, looking good. So if you're growing these on the allotment, it's also good to try to find out whether you're allowed trees. Some allotments don't allow trees. And it's also sometimes best to check what graft some of the trees are, to know whether they're going to grow massively tall. Or whether they're just going to be dwarf. So we're getting there now. Pressing it down as we go. And the tree's starting to hold itself up now, which is good. A few more handfuls. And just firming it down. It's also best just to lift it up a few times, just to bed it in. That's looking really good. That way straight. There we go, it's a bit straighter. And then the last lot on top, ramming it in. I'm just going to go a layer then on top of multi-purpose compost. So we just don't want the roots to dry out, so give it a good water, and don't forget, if it needs some water before planting, then soak it for 30 minutes to an hour, and there we go. That's our cherry tree planted. So I'm really pleased about that. Looking forward to the cherries on the tree, and it's even sprouting now, little buds forming. So this is really good. And you know what, I might even buy one for the allotment and for the garden. Well, let me know in the comments. Have you planted any bare root trees? Have you got a mini orchard in your allotment or in your garden? Let me know in the comments and what you're growing. That'd be really good. And if you're new to my channel, then please subscribe, ring that bell, get notifications when I post some more. Got 3 more to do now, so I'm really pleased with this.